They got to serve as an example for anyone else who might threaten. The Galactic Council chambers erupted in chaos as battle reports streamed in from across the war zone. Representatives from 47 species filled the hall with sounds of panic, confusion, and growing fear. The impossible was happening. The Velthrak, unstoppable conquerors who had crushed 3 combined council fleets, were being systematically destroyed by a species everyone believed was barely spacefaring. Ambassador Ji-Hoon Yoon stood calmly in the human section, his expression neutral as alien voices filled the air with desperate questions. Around him, his staff maintained diplomatic composure while privately communicating with Earth Command through encrypted channels. Council Speaker. Thymalek's blue-green skin had turned almost white as he read the latest reports. His forearms shook as he held data pads containing information that challenged everything the Council thought they knew about warfare, technology, and the human species. The reports must be wrong, declared Representative Vorthak of the Silicon Collective, his crystalline form flickering with agitated light patterns. No single species could destroy 400 Velthrak bioships without losses. It's impossible. The sensor data is confirmed by 17 different sources, Thymalek replied, his voice hollow with shock. The humans didn't just defeat the Velthrak forces. They annihilated them completely. 0 human casualties, 0 survivors among the enemy. Across the chamber, species representatives exchanged worried glances through whatever sensory organs they possessed. The Velthrak had been their greatest nightmare, an enemy that seemed unstoppable. If humans could destroy them so easily, what did that make humanity? Ambassador Yoon stepped forward, his movement causing the chamber to fall silent. When he spoke, his voice carried the calm authority of someone representing a power that no longer needed to pretend weakness. Honored representatives, Yoon began, Earth appreciates your concern about the recent military actions. I want to assure you that human forces are operating strictly within the parameters of the Council's request for assistance. Assistance? Screeched Representative Clithara, her insectoid form trembling with indignation. You told us you were sending medical ships and supply convoys. Instead, you deployed a war fleet more powerful than anything in known space. Yoon's smile was diplomatic but cold. Earth is providing exactly what the situation requires. The Council requested help stopping the Velthrak threat. We are stopping the Velthrak threat. Meanwhile, in the depths of space, General Haewon Cho coordinated the broader human campaign from her mobile command center. The massive vessel, disguised as a refugee aid station, served as the nerve center for operations that were reshaping the galactic balance of power. Status report from all sectors, Cho commanded, her gray hair pulled back severely as she studied holographic displays showing the entire war zone. Captain Young Soo Kwan's voice came through the quantum communicator from the Vega system. Deep strike operations proceeding ahead of schedule, General. We've liberated 12 Velthrak-occupied worlds in the past week. Enemy resistance is collapsing faster than our most optimistic projections. Casualties? Cho asked. Human casualties remain at 0 across all operations. Velthrak casualties, Kwan paused. General, we're not just winning battles. We're erasing them from existence. Every bioship we encounter is destroyed completely. Every spawning facility is reduced to atomic dust. Every trace of their presence is eliminated. This was the true scope of humanity's campaign. While aliens focused on the major fleet battles, human special operations teams were systematically cleansing Velthrak-controlled space with precision that astounded galactic observers. Dr. Sun-hee Park's research teams worked around the clock, dissecting captured Velthrak technology and adapting it for human use. Her findings were revolutionizing humanity's understanding of bioengineering while providing new weapons for the war effort. Analysis complete on the latest bioship samples, Park reported to General Cho. The Velthrak technology is impressive but limited. They grow weapons instead of building them, which makes them adaptable but ultimately predictable. More importantly, their hive mind has a critical weakness. Explain, Cho ordered. The collective consciousness that makes them so coordinated also makes them vulnerable to psychological warfare. When we destroy a major war form like a prime devourer, every Velthrak in the galaxy experiences that death directly. They're not just losing battles, they're experiencing existential trauma with each defeat. This information pleased General Cho immensely. Humanity wasn't just fighting a military campaign, they were conducting psychological warfare against an entire species' collective consciousness. Back in the council chambers, The political implications were becoming clear to the more intelligent species representatives. Ambassador Yoon fielded increasingly desperate questions from aliens who were beginning to understand their situation. Ambassador Yoon asked Representative Slickson of the Aquatic Union, "What are humanity's intentions after the Velthrak threat is eliminated?" The question every species wanted answered but was afraid to ask. Yoon's response would determine the galaxy's future political structure. "Earth's intentions are simple," Yoon replied. "We wish to see peace and stability throughout Council space. We believe all sentient species deserve protection from aggressive powers that would consume or enslave them." "But what about after?" pressed Representative Mothala of the Twilight Worlds. "What happens when the most powerful military force in the galaxy no longer has an enemy to fight?" Yoon's smile became genuinely warm, which somehow made it more terrifying to the alien observers. "Then we return to what we were doing before: peaceful exploration, cultural exchange, scientific cooperation. Earth has no desire for conquest or empire. We simply want to ensure our friends and neighbors are safe from threats." The implications were clear to anyone with political intelligence. Humanity wasn't interested in ruling the galaxy directly. They preferred to be the power behind the throne, the ultimate authority that other species had to consider in every decision. Some representatives began private communications, discussing whether they should attempt preemptive action against humanity before Earth's power became absolute. Others argued for immediate alliance, hoping to survive what they now realized was the galaxy's new apex predator. "Honored Ambassador," T-Melik said carefully, "the Council appreciates Earth's effective response to our request. However, some representatives have concerns about the scale of human military capabilities. Perhaps we could discuss establishing protocols for future cooperation." Yoon understood perfectly. The aliens wanted to negotiate limits on human power, while they still had some bargaining position. The problem was that humanity's position grew stronger with every passing day. "Certainly," Yoon agreed, "Earth is always willing to discuss cooperative frameworks with our galactic neighbors. However, such discussions should probably wait until the current crisis is resolved," which meant the aliens would have to wait until humanity had demonstrated the full extent of their capabilities. By then, any negotiations would be conducted from a position of absolute human superiority. General Cho received reports that confirmed this strategy was working perfectly. Across the galaxy, species were choosing sides. Some sought alliance with Earth, offering trade agreements and territorial concessions. Others maintained careful neutrality, hoping to avoid notice. A few foolish species began planning resistance movements, not understanding they were planning their own extinction. "The Centauri Federation has requested immediate alliance status," Captain Kwan reported. "They're offering full access to their territory and resources in exchange for protection guarantees. The Andromedan Republic wants to negotiate defense treaties," added another officer. "They're willing to provide staging areas for our fleets in exchange for security assurances." "What about hostile responses?" Cho asked. 3 minor species have formed the Independent Systems Alliance and are demanding human withdrawal from galactic affairs, Kwan replied with amusement. "Their combined military might equals approximately 1/10 of our lightest battle group." Cho nodded. "Monitor them closely. If they take any aggressive actions, eliminate them quickly and publicly. The galaxy needs to understand that resistance to human authority is futile. This was humanity's true victory. Not just military success against the Velthrak, but the establishment of Earth as the galaxy's ultimate arbiter. Every species would now have to consider human interests in their decisions. Every conflict would require human approval. Every threat would face human response." Ambassador Yoon concluded the council session with words that would be remembered throughout galactic history. "Earth looks forward to a long and peaceful cooperation with all council species. We believe that together, we can build a galaxy where no species need fear extinction from aggressive powers." The chamber fell silent as representatives absorbed the full meaning of his statement. Humanity was offering protection to those who cooperated and promising elimination to those who threatened galactic peace. The age of the Galactic Council was ending. The age of the human protectorate was about to begin. The Proxima Centauri system had been beautiful once. 3 garden worlds orbited the red dwarf star, their surfaces covered with council cities and orbital stations. Now those worlds were dying. Velthrak bioships hung in orbit like diseased moons. their feeding tubes draining the planets of resources and population. The Prime Devourer floated at the center of the massive invasion fleet. 2,400 bioships surrounded the creature that served as the Velthrak hive mind's primary warform. Its kilometer-long body pulsed with neural activity as it coordinated the consumption of another star system. Through its organic sensor arrays, the Prime Devourer detected new contacts entering the system. The readings matched intelligence from destroyed scouts, human vessels, apparently 50 ships carrying aid supplies for Council refugees. The hive mind felt satisfaction at this unexpected gift, more biomass for the war effort, but something was wrong with the sensor readings. Admiral Sang-Wook Jeon stood on the bridge of his flagship Iron Thunder, watching the Velthrak fleet through tactical displays that showed every enemy bioship in perfect detail. His battle group had just dropped out of hyperspace, and the aliens were about to discover their first unpleasant surprise. Enemy reaction? John asked. Captain Bo Rahan, commanding the heavy cruiser Night Strike, reported from her position in the formation. Minimal concern, Admiral. Their communication patterns suggest they believe we're the same 50 ships that destroyed their scouts. Let them keep believing that for another few minutes, John replied. Commander Beck, status of the electronic warfare systems? Commander Seok Jin Baek looked up from his specialized console, his screens showing the Velthrak bio-network in real time. All virus packages ready for deployment. I've identified their primary neural pathways and communication nodes. When we strike, their coordination will collapse. Marines? Master Sergeant Kyunghwa Jung's voice came through the intercom from the Marine decks below. 400 Marines ready for boarding actions, Admiral. If any bioships try to take our vessels, they'll get a very unpleasant surprise. John nodded. Everything was proceeding according to plan. The Velthrak expected easy victory over what they thought was a small relief convoy. Instead, they were about to face 200 of humanity's most advanced warships in a coordinated assault that would demonstrate exactly why Earth had remained hidden until they chose to reveal themselves. Admiral, Han reported, the Prime Devourer is moving to intercept us. It's bringing 400 bioships as escorts. Perfect. The hive mind was committing a significant portion of its forces to what it expected would be a simple mop-up operation. The aliens had no idea they were about to walk into a trap designed by a species that had spent millennia perfecting the art of warfare. All ships, John broadcast on the encrypted command channel, activate full combat configuration. Let's show them what human military engineering really looks like. Across the human formation, cloaking fields deactivated and hidden weapon ports opened. What had appeared to be 50 modest exploration vessels suddenly revealed themselves as 200 heavily armed warships. Dreadnoughts materialized out of stealth fields. Heavy cruisers powered up particle beam arrays. Destroyer squadrons spread into attack formation. The Velthrak hive mind experienced its first moment of confusion in 1,000 years. The sensor readings made no sense. How had 50 ships become 200? How had exploration vessels transformed into obvious military craft? Begin long-range bombardment, John ordered. Target their escort bioships first. I want to see how they handle quantum cascade weapons. Captain Han's heavy cruisers opened fire at maximum range, their quantum torpedoes crossing the space between fleets in seconds. The Velthrak bioships had never encountered weapons that operated on subatomic principles. Their adaptive hulls, designed to heal conventional damage, began disintegrating at the molecular level. Direct hits on 12 escort vessels, Han reported. Enemy bioships are... They're falling apart, Admiral. Their healing systems can't handle quantum disruption. The hive mind reeled in shock. Its bioships were supposed to be nearly invulnerable, able to adapt to any weapon and heal any damage. But these human weapons were destroying them faster than they could regenerate. Electronic warfare attack. Now, Jian commanded. Commander Beck unleashed humanity's cyber warfare capabilities against the Velthrak bionetwork. Computer viruses designed to corrupt organic neural systems flooded through the aliens' communication channels. For the first time in its existence, the hive mind experienced system failures and data corruption. Individual bioships began firing on each other as corrupted neural pathways misidentified friend and foe. Formation coordination collapsed as communication nodes failed throughout the fleet. The perfect unity that made the Velthrak so dangerous turned into chaos as each ship received conflicting orders from a confused central mind. Incredible, Bike reported with satisfaction. Their entire network is based on biological computing. They've never developed defenses against digital attacks. We're essentially giving their collective consciousness a computer virus. The Prime Devourer tried to restore order, but the human viruses continued spreading through the bionetwork, faster than they could be purged. Worse, the enemy fleet was closing distance with weapons that could actually destroy Velthrak ships permanently. In desperation, the surviving bioships attempted their signature tactic, boarding actions. Assault pods launched toward human vessels, carrying warrior forms designed to convert enemy crews into slave soldiers. This approach had worked against every council species they had conquered. It did not work against humans. Boarding pods incoming, Jung reported from the marine decks. Let them come, Admiral. My people are ready. The Velthrak assault pods breached the hulls of 3 human ships, disgorging warrior forms that had never faced opponents in powered armor. The alien creatures were designed to overwhelm and convert typical humanoid species through biological weapons and superior physical strength. They found themselves facing human marines in full combat gear, wielding weapons that fired depleted uranium rounds at hypersonic velocities. The corridor battles became slaughters as marine squads hunted down every invader with methodical precision. All boarding parties eliminated, Jung reported. Enemy casualty count, 112 warrior forms. Human casualties 0. The aliens fight well against typical galactic species, but they've never encountered warriors who enjoy close combat. The Prime Devourer processed this information with growing horror. Not only were the humans destroying its fleet with impossible weapons, but their soldiers were actually superior in individual combat. Every tactical advantage the Velthrak possessed was proving useless against this unexpected enemy. Admiral, Han reported, enemy fleet is attempting to withdraw. The Prime Devourer is signaling retreat to its remaining ships. Negative, John replied coldly. No survivors. No witnesses. No reports back to the main hive. Hunt them down and eliminate every bioship in the system. The human fleet spread into pursuit formation, their faster ships overtaking the fleeing Velthrak vessels. Advanced sensors tracked every bioship, and quantum torpedoes eliminated them one by one. The aliens discovered that humans didn't just win battles, they ended threats permanently. Final enemy vessel destroyed, Han announced. Total Velthrak casualties, 400 bioships including the Prime Devourer. Human casualties 0. System is clear of hostile forces. But the battle's most important effect was psychological. Through the bionetwork, every Velthrak in the galaxy had experienced the Prime Devourer's final moments. The entire hive mind felt the death of a major warform, witnessed the casual destruction of 400 bioships, and understood that they faced an enemy unlike any they had ever encountered. For the first time in its millennia of existence, the Velthrak collective consciousness experienced fear, pure existential terror, at facing a species that fought like apex predators who had spent thousands of years perfecting the art of warfare. Admiral, Commander Beck reported, we're detecting massive communication activity throughout Velthrak space. The hive mind is in complete panic. They're recalling forces from a dozen star systems. John smiled grimly. Good, let them retreat. Let them understand that humanity doesn't fight wars. We eliminate problems. When Earth decides a threat needs to end, that threat ends completely. He activated the fleet communication system, broadcasting to every ship in his battle group. Excellent work today. We've sent a clear message to the Velthrak hive mind. They now understand that they're not the galaxy's apex predators. That title belongs to humanity, the Admiral paused, looking at tactical displays that showed human ships moving through the conquered system, methodically destroying every trace of Velthrak presence. Signal Admiral Seo that Proxima Centauri is secure. Tell him the enemy is in full retreat, and we're ready to begin the next phase of operations. The Velthrak wanted to learn what happens when they threaten innocent species. Today they got their first lesson. Across the system, human ships began rescue operations for surviving council populations, while maintaining their relentless pursuit of any remaining bioship traces. The galaxy was learning that when humanity went to war, the enemy didn't get to surrender and try again later. The Rigel system had been peaceful for 1,000 years. 3 planets housed thriving council colonies, their cities gleaming under the orange star's light. But now the outer system crawled with Velthrak bioships. Massive creatures the size of asteroids drifted between the planets, their organic hulls pulsing with unnatural life. Captain Min Ho Song stood on the bridge of his reconnaissance cruiser Hidden Blade, watching the enemy scouts through his ship's advanced sensors. Around him, his crew worked quietly at their stations. To any observer, they looked like a standard exploration vessel's crew conducting routine surveys. 12 bioscouts in the outer system, reported Lieutenant Yoonji Kang from her sensor station. Standard Velthrak configuration. Living hulls approximately 2 kilometers long. Multiple weapon growths. Neural processing nodes visible along the spine. Communication patterns? Song asked. Communications Officer Young-soo. Oh looked up from his displays. Typical hive mind coordination, Captain. They're sharing sensory data continuously. No individual thinking, just collective awareness feeding back to the main hive. Song nodded. He had studied Velthrak tactics for weeks during the journey to the war zone. The bioships were impressive by galactic standards. Their living hulls could adapt to damage, growing new armor and weapons as needed. Their hive mind coordination made them incredibly efficient in battle. But they had never fought humans. Status of our fleet? Song inquired. Major Donghyun Lim answered from the tactical station. 49 ships in formation, all maintaining stealth configuration. The enemy reads us as standard exploration vessels. No military signatures detected. Perfect. Earth ships had been designed to look harmless while carrying devastating firepower. Every exploration vessel in the human fleet was actually a fully armed warship with hidden weapon ports and military-grade systems. Captain, Kang reported, the bioscouts are moving to intercept us. Their formation suggests they view us as easy prey. Song smiled coldly. The Velthrak had good reason for confidence. Their recent victories had come easily against Council forces that fought like civilized beings. Organized formations, predictable tactics, limited aggression. They expected humans to behave the same way. All ships, this is Captain Song. He broadcast on the encrypted military channel. Enemy contact in 30 minutes. Remember, we want prisoners for intelligence gathering. But our primary mission is demonstrating human capabilities to any observers. Across the system, Council refugee ships fleeing the Velthrak advance watched through their long-range sensors. They saw what appeared to be a small human convoy about to be destroyed by superior Velthrak forces. Some began broadcasting warnings to the humans, trying to save the innocent exploration ships. The Velthrak bioscouts closed distance, their organic hulls shifting and adapting as they prepared for easy conquest. Weapon growths expanded along their sides. Boarding pods swelled underneath their bellies, ready to disgorge assault creatures that would convert human crew into slave soldiers. 15 minutes to contact, Lim announced. Hidden weapon ports? Song asked. All 49 ships report ready. Quantum cascade torpedoes loaded. Particle beam arrays charged. Nanite swarms initialized. Wait for my command. The Velthrak scouts spread into attack formation surrounding the human ships. Their biohulls pulsed with anticipation. Through the hive mind, they shared certainty of victory. These primitive newcomers would provide fresh biomass for the war effort. 10 minutes to contact. The lead bioscout is trying to communicate. O reported. Put it through. Song ordered. The alien transmission filled the bridge with clicking, screeching sounds that the translation computers converted into words. Primitive vessels, you have entered Velthrak space. Surrender now and your biological matter will be incorporated efficiently. Resist and you will experience pain before conversion. Song keyed his response transmitter. This is Captain Song of the Earth vessel Hidden Blade. Your advance is terminated. Withdraw immediately or face the consequences. Across the Velthrak formation, the hive mind processed this response with something resembling amusement. These humans actually thought they could threaten superior biotechnology. The delusion would make their conversion even more satisfying. 5 minutes to contact. All enemy scouts are moving to attack positions, Kang announced. All ships, Song broadcast, activate combat configuration on my mark. Show them what human engineering really looks like. The hidden weapon ports on all 49 human ships snapped open simultaneously. Sleek hulls that had appeared peaceful revealed particle beam cannons, torpedo tubes, and missile arrays. What the Velthrak thought were exploration vessels transformed into obvious warships in seconds. Fire, Song commanded. The battle lasted 14 seconds. Quantum cascade torpedoes struck the bioscouts before they could react. The exotic weapons tore through living hulls that were designed to heal conventional damage. Particle beams sliced through adaptive armor that had never encountered such focused energy. Nanite swarms invaded bioship neural networks, converting organic computers into raw materials. The Velthrak hive mind experienced something it had never known. complete surprise. These humans fought nothing like the civilized species they had conquered. No warning shots, no attempts at negotiation once battle began, just immediate, overwhelming violence designed to eliminate enemies completely. All targets destroyed. Lim reported with satisfaction. Total enemy casualties 12 bioscouts. Human casualties 0. Damage to our ships 0. But the real shock was yet to come. "Captain," O said urgently, "we're receiving transmissions from the Council refugee ships. They witnessed the entire engagement." Song had expected this. "What are they saying?" They're terrified, sir. Their sensors analyzed our ships during the attack. They know these aren't exploration vessels. They know we've been lying about our capabilities." Across the system, panicked alien voices filled communication channels. The refugees had watched 49 peaceful human ships casually obliterate Velthrak forces that had defeated the Council's best military units. By the Seven Suns, one transmission wailed, "What are they?" "Those weapons. That coordination. They destroyed the bioscouts like they were nothing. The humans have been deceiving us," another voice cried. "These aren't aid ships. They're warships more advanced than anything in Council space." Captain Song listened to the alien panic with grim satisfaction. This had been the plan from the beginning. Let other species witness human military capability firsthand. Let them understand what Earth had been hiding behind its peaceful facade. "Begin intelligence gathering," Song ordered. "I want everything from those bio-shipwrecks." Technology, communication codes, tactical data, biological samples. When we're finished, no trace of Velthrak presence remains in the system. Major Lim's fighter squadrons launched from the cruisers, their sleek craft sweeping through the wreckage with predatory efficiency. They hunted down escape pods, communication buoys, and any other evidence that Velthrak forces had been here. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Kang's sensors detected the refugee ships beginning emergency transmissions back to Council space. The messages carried detailed scans of human vessels, weapon signatures, and tactical capabilities. Should we intercept those transmissions? O asked. "No," Song replied. "Let them send their reports. Let the Council know what's coming. Let every species in the galaxy understand that Earth isn't what they thought." The intelligence teams worked quickly, stripping useful data from the bioship remains. Dr. Sun Hee Park's xenobiology specialists dissected organic components, learning how Velthrak technology functioned. Combat engineers reverse-engineered weapon systems and defensive capabilities. "Analysis complete," Park reported. "The bioships are impressive by galactic standards, but their technology is essentially biological engineering. They grow weapons instead of building them. Their hulls heal damage instead of using shields." "Weaknesses?" Song inquired. "Many. They're vulnerable to quantum-level disruption, which is why our torpedoes were so effective. Their healing systems can't handle nanite invasion. Most importantly, they rely entirely on the hive mind for coordination. Disrupt that connection and individual ships become helpless." Song nodded. This information would be valuable for the main fleet when they encountered larger Velthrak forces. "Signal from Admiral Seo," O announced. "The main battle group has arrived in the system. They're requesting our status report." Through the bridge windows, Song could see new contacts appearing on sensors. Not just a few ships, but hundreds of them. The human Armada had arrived in Rigel's system, and its size would terrify anyone who witnessed it. "Send our report to the Admiral," Song commanded. "Tell him the advance reconnaissance mission is complete. Enemy scouts eliminated. Intelligence gathered. Local space is secure for fleet operations." He paused, looking at the refugee ships still broadcasting panicked messages across the galaxy. "And inform the Admiral that word of our true capabilities is now spreading to every Council world. The galaxy is about to learn what humanity really is." 6 days later, the outer Sol system buzzed with activity that no alien had ever seen. Beyond Pluto's orbit, massive structures floated in the darkness. To distant observers, they looked like asteroid mining stations. In reality, they were the largest military shipyards in the galaxy. Admiral Tae-Young Seo stood on the command deck of the orbital fortress Busan Station, watching his fleet prepare for war. Through the transparent aluminum windows, hundreds of ships moved in perfect formation. Destroyers sleek as hunting sharks, cruisers bristling with weapon ports, dreadnoughts the size of cities, their hulls thick enough to survive planet-killing impacts. "Status report," Seo commanded, his gray hair catching the light from the holographic displays around him. Captain Jinna Moon stepped forward, her datapad glowing with fleet information. At 37, she commanded the dreadnought Soul's Fury, the most powerful warship humanity had ever built. Her voice was calm as she delivered numbers that would terrify any alien intelligence. 847 ships ready for immediate deployment, Admiral. 43 dreadnoughts, 112 heavy cruisers, 246 destroyers, 446 escort vessels. All crews at battle stations. All weapon systems charged and ready. SEO nodded. Marines? Colonel Wujin Nam answered from across the command center. His powered armor made him look like a metal giant, and his scarred face showed the experience of countless battles. 400,000 fully equipped Marines across the fleet. Assault shuttles loaded and ready. We can take and hold any world the fleet can reach. Weapons research? Dr. Hyejin Yu looked up from her technical displays. Despite being the youngest person in the room at 31, her work had created some of humanity's most devastating weapons. All new systems tested and ready, Admiral. Quantum cascade torpedoes, particle beam arrays, nanite swarm warheads. The aliens have never seen anything like what we're bringing to this fight. SEO walked to the main display showing the assembled armada. Each ship represented decades of secret preparation. While aliens thought Earth was focused on peaceful exploration, humanity had been building the most advanced military force in known space. Gentlemen, Dr. Seo began, let me remind you why we're here. 50 years ago, when we achieved faster-than-light travel, we could have announced ourselves to the galaxy immediately. Instead, our leaders made a different choice. The displays around them showed historical footage. Earth's first contact with alien civilizations. Careful diplomatic missions that presented humanity as peaceful explorers. Cultural exchanges that showed only Earth's most philosophical and artistic sides. Scientific cooperation that revealed human intelligence while hiding human capabilities. We studied them first, Seo continued. Every species we met, we learned their strengths, their weaknesses, their military capabilities. We discovered something important. Most intelligent species develop technology and diplomacy before they develop effective warfare. They become civilized before they become dangerous. Captain Moon understood. But humans develop differently. Exactly. We spent 3,000 years perfecting the art of warfare. 2 world wars that killed millions. The Martian independence conflict. The Titan rebellion that almost destroyed our solar system. We learned to fight before we learned to fly between stars. Colonel Nam smiled grimly. The aliens think war is what happens when diplomacy fails. We know war is just politics by other means. And now, Dr. Yu added, they're about to discover what happens when a warrior species decides to join a galactic conflict. SEO activated the main tactical display. It showed the current war situation. Felthrak biofleets advancing through Council space, consuming everything in their path. Council forces retreating on all fronts, their combined militaries no match for the hive mind's coordination and adaptive technology. The Velthrak are impressive, Seo admitted. Their bioships can heal damage and adapt to weapons. Their hive mind gives them perfect tactical coordination. Against typical civilized species, they're unstoppable. But they've never fought humans, Moon observed. No, they haven't. They've never encountered a species that views warfare as an art form. They've never faced opponents who spent millennia fighting each other and became very, very good at it. The Admiral activated his personal communicator, broadcasting to every ship in the Armada. Across the fleet, hundreds of thousands of human warriors listened to their commander's words. All ships, all crew, this is Admiral Seo. In 1 hour, we begin our jump toward the war zone. The Galactic Council believes they've requested humanitarian aid from a peaceful species. They expect medical ships and supply convoys. A ripple of laughter went through the communications channel. Every person in the fleet understood the irony. Instead, they're getting the full might of Earth's military. They're getting warriors who trace their lineage back to every conflict in human history. They're getting technology designed by a species that never stopped improving ways to fight and win. Seo paused, looking out at his magnificent fleet. Each ship was a masterpiece of human engineering, designed for one purpose, to destroy enemies completely and efficiently. The Velthrak think they're the galaxy's apex predators. They believe their biotechnology and hive mind make them invincible. They've conquered dozens of species and never met effective resistance. The Admiral's voice hardened. They're about to learn why Earth never had any alien visitors before we developed FTL travel. We made sure they stayed away. Any species that found us before we were ready simply disappeared. Captain Moon felt a chill. She had always wondered why Earth's archaeological record showed no evidence of alien contact, despite the galaxy being full of spacefaring species. Now she understood. Humanity's ancestors had been protecting their world long before they reached the stars. Today begins a new chapter, CO concluded. Today, the galaxy learns that humanity is not prey. We're not victims. We're not desperate refugees seeking help. We are the species every other race should have feared meeting in the darkness between stars. Across the fleet, weapons systems came online, targeting computers activated. Marines checked their equipment one final time. In the engineering sections, quantum drives prepared for the jump to hyperspace. The Velthrak conquered dozens of species because those species fought like civilized beings, CO said. Organized, predictable, limited by concepts of proportional response and acceptable casualties. Dr. Yu smiled as she watched her weapon systems initialize. But humans don't fight fair. No, we don't. We fight to win. Completely, permanently. When humanity goes to war, the enemy doesn't get to surrender and try again later. They get to be an example for anyone else who might threaten us. The jump coordinates appeared on every ship's navigation system. The first destination, Rigel system, where Velthrak advanced scouts were preparing their next assault on Council space. All ships report ready, Admiral, Moon announced. SEO nodded. Then let's go show the galaxy what humanitarian aid really looks like. The massive fleet began its jump sequence. 847 warships carrying the concentrated military might of humanity's warrior civilization vanished into hyperspace. Behind them, the secret shipyards immediately began building replacement vessels, because Earth's leaders knew this would not be humanity's last war. In the quantum communication logs, a single message was recorded for historical reference. Operation Gladius initiated. Estimated time to complete pacification of hostile forces, 6 weeks. Estimated Velthrak survivors, 0. The galaxy was about to discover why peaceful species developed diplomacy first, while humanity had developed warfare, and then decided to be diplomatic when it suited their purposes. The crystal walls of the Galactic Council chamber reflected panic in every surface. 47 different alien species filled the massive hall, their voices creating a chaos of sounds. Some clicked their mandibles in distress. Others flashed bright colors across their skin. A few released chemical signals that made the air taste of fear. Commander Hyunwoo Park stood quietly in the human observation section. His dark uniform looked plain compared to the colorful robes and natural displays around him. Next to him, Ambassador Dae-ho Kim watched the proceedings with careful eyes. Both men had served Earth for many years, but they had never seen the Council this frightened. At the center of the hall, Council Speaker Thymalek raised his forearms for silence. His blue-green skin had turned pale, and his large eyes darted nervously around the room. When he spoke, his voice carried through the translation devices that let every species understand each other. Fellow beings of the galaxy, Thymalek began, we face the greatest threat in our recorded history. The Velthrak Empire has destroyed 3 of our combined fleets. They have consumed 17 worlds. Their bioships turn our people into slave soldiers. If we do not act now, civilization as we know it will end. A ripple of fear sounds went through the chamber. Park had read the battle reports. The Velthrak were indeed terrifying. Their ships were grown rather than built, living creatures the size of cities. They could heal damage and adapt to weapons. Worst of all, they used a hive mind that made them perfectly coordinated in battle. We have lost over 2 million ships. Thymalek continued. Our finest commanders are dead. Our most advanced weapons have failed. We need help from those who have not yet joined our fight. All eyes in the chamber turned toward the human section. Park felt the weight of their stares. Earth had only joined the galactic community 50 years ago. To these ancient civilizations, humans were newcomers who had barely learned to travel between stars. Honored humans, Thymalek said directly to Ambassador Kim, your species has shown great wisdom in your short time among us. Your cultural broadcasts speak of peace, cooperation, and understanding. Your diplomats seek harmony over conflict. We have observed your careful, thoughtful approach to galactic relations. Kim nodded politely. The Council honors us with their attention. We know your people prefer peaceful solutions, Thymalek went on. We understand that humans value life and seek to avoid violence. These noble qualities make us hope that you might assist in our desperate hour. Behind them, Communications Officer So-Min Lee whispered into her device, recording everything for Earth Command. Intelligence Analyst Jun-Ho Choi made notes on his datapad, tracking each species' reaction to the request. "What exactly does the Council ask of Earth?" Kim inquired, his voice calm and measured. Thimelek's relief was obvious. "Nothing that would compromise your peaceful nature. Perhaps medical ships to aid the wounded, supply vessels to bring food and materials to refugee worlds, technical support to help repair our damaged systems. Your advanced sensors could help us track Velthrak movements without engaging in combat." Murmurs of agreement came from around the chamber. The aliens nodded or made their species-equivalent gestures. To them, this seemed reasonable. Humans appeared to be typical civilized beings who would help in safe, supportive ways. "We offer much in return," Thimelek added quickly. "Full trading rights in Council space, territory for human colonies in the outer systems, membership in the Galactic Council with all the benefits and protections that includes, access to our combined knowledge banks spanning thousands of years." Park caught Kim's eye. The ambassador's expression remained neutral, but Park saw the slight tension in his shoulders. Both men understood what the aliens did not. Earth's peaceful nature was carefully crafted for first contact. Humanity's real nature was very different. "The Council's offer is generous," Kim said. "Earth recognizes the grave threat the Velthrak represent to all sentient life. We cannot stand by while innocent beings suffer." Hope filled Thimelek's large eyes. Around the chamber, aliens began to relax. Finally, they would receive the help they needed. The humans would contribute their small but meaningful support to the war effort. "However," Kim continued, "such a decision requires consultation with our leadership. We must ensure that any response serves both the Council's needs and Earth's capabilities." Of course, Thimelek said quickly. "How long might such consultations take?" "Our fastest ships can reach Earth in 6 days. I expect a response within a week of their arrival." The Council members exchanged pleased looks. 2 weeks was faster than most species could organize a supply mission. They began discussing logistics, refugee placement, and medical needs. No one noticed the slight smile that crossed Park's face. As the session ended, the human delegation gathered their materials. Other species representatives approached them with additional requests. Medical supplies for their wounded, transport ships for their refugees, defensive sensors for their remaining worlds. All reasonable requests for a peaceful species to fulfill. "We will consider all needs," Kim assured them. "Earth wishes to help in whatever way we can." The delegation made their way to their small transport ship. Unlike the massive vessels other species used, the human ship appeared modest and functional. Its hull showed no weapons, no armor, no signs of military purpose. It looked exactly like what the aliens expected from a peaceful exploration species. Once aboard and away from the station, the 4 humans finally relaxed. Lee activated privacy screens and began encoding their observations for transmission to Earth. Choi pulled up tactical displays showing Velthrak fleet movements and Council defensive positions. "They actually believe it," Lee said with amazement. "They think we're like them, peaceful, rational, looking for diplomatic solutions." "They've only seen what we wanted them to see," Kim replied. 50 years of careful image management. Cultural exchanges featuring our best philosophers and artists. Diplomatic missions that always sought compromise. Scientific expeditions that shared knowledge freely. They have no idea what humans are really like when threatened. Park moved to the communications array. His fingers flew across the quantum transmitter controls, inputting authorization codes that would reach the most classified levels of Earth Command. The message would travel faster than their ship, arriving at Sol system within hours. "Command, this is Kepler Station Diplomatic Mission." He spoke into the secure channel. "Authorization code Omega-7, Priority Alpha. The Council has formally requested assistance against the Velthrak threat. Ambassador Kim has accepted on behalf of Earth. Recommend immediate activation of Contingency Plan Gladius. The galaxy is about to learn why Earth spent 50 years hiding its true nature." He paused, thinking of the massive military installations hidden in the outer Sol system. Shipyards that had been building in secret for decades. Training facilities where Earth's warriors prepared for the day they would face galactic threats. Weapons research that had advanced far beyond anything the peaceful species of the Council could imagine. "Tell Admiral Seo we're going to need the full Armada," Park concluded. The message fired into quantum space, carrying Earth's response toward the hidden military might waiting in humanity's home system. Behind them, the Council station grew smaller. its inhabitants believing they had secured modest aid from a peaceful species. None of them suspected they had just awakened something that had been watching from the shadows, waiting for exactly this moment to show the galaxy what humans were really capable of when pushed to war.